All right. Well, the Browns lost, as we probably should have expected, but we will talk about it in just 1 minute. All right. Oh, let me fix my. There we go. My audio is now fixed. Welcome back to Browns Breakdowns, proud partners here of Fanatical Elves Network and Fans First Sports Network. So the Cleveland Browns lost to the Steelers on December 8th. Not a shocker. I don't think really anyone expected the Browns to be winning, mostly just because they are a bad team this year, unfortunately. But I didn't expect them to win. I don't think anyone else did. It was a bad feeling game, though. It felt like it was a bad game, and I don't know what exactly it was, why it was like. So I don't know. But it just wasn't a good game. But let's get into the statistics of said bad game. So the Browns were okay statistically. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't good either. It just was a game, and it could have been a lot better. But we shouldn't have been expecting to win here. So the Browns lost 14-27 to the Steelers, putting us at 3-10 and them at 10-3. So players wise, we'll do the Steelers first. Russell Wilson was 15. What's this little yellow bar here? What's that there? Oh, now it's gone. It was 15 for 26 for 158 and 2 touchdowns. Okay game. I mean, we're not talking. Actually, I forgot. Almost forgot to talk about Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. Spend any money and use this referral code right here. We get 15%. Greatest coffee you'll ever have in your life. Will change your life. Great Christmas gift. Great gift just in general. If you use that referral code here, you will get 15%. So back to the statistics. Running the ball for the Steelers, they were 16 for 53. Najee Harris was 16 for 53 and 1 touchdown. Jaylen Warren was 9 for 47. And Russell Wilson had 6 carries for 17 yards. So the Steelers in general on that front were okay. There was not a whole lot. The Steelers, this is AFC North football too. Like, we don't produce crazy statistics games. It just doesn't really happen like that. Receiving wise for the Steelers, it was Pat Frymuth was 3 for 48 and a touchdown. Scott Miller was 3 for 38. Mike Williams was 3 for 36. Jaylen Warren 2 for 25, and Van Jefferson 1 for 10 and a touchdown. It's hard to have good stats when your quarterback doesn't do a whole lot, but whatever. Cameron Hayward had 2 sacks. He was really good. Alex Highsmith had a sack. James Pierre had an interception. And Keanu Benton also had an interception. So that is the Steelers stats. The Browns, Jameis Winston, 24 for 41 for 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Fine. That's just Jameis Winston's stat line. That's what it'll do. Nick Chubb was 11 for 48. Jerome Ford, 10 for 48, or 10 for 28, and James Winston was 4 for 28. On the receiving end, Jerry Jeudy was your leading receiver, 5 for 64 and a touchdown. David Njoku was pretty good, 7 for 42 and a touchdown. Elijah Moore, 3 for 34. And then rounding out the final few guys, Jerome Ford was 3 for 19. James Prochet II was 2 for 18. Jordan Akins, 1 for 14. Michael Woods II, 1 for 12. Defensively, Myles Garrett did have a sack, which was nice. It's nice to see him have sacks like that. And I think that was the only sacks we had. Yeah, it looks like it. And of course, we didn't have any interceptions. Team stats? Are you kidding me? Stupid website sent me to the game recap. I don't want to see that. The teams were actually kind of equal in terms of the actual total yards. The Steelers were 267. We were 300. Passing yards, we were 196. They were 147. In rushing, we only had 104 rushing yards. They only had 120, so it wasn't like great. And we were both tied on 4.3 yards per play. First downs, we had 20 first downs. They only had 15. But here's what killed us was our 2 for 13 third down efficiency, which is pretty abysmal. They were 6 for 14, but we were 3 for 4 on our fourth down efficiency, which I guess is impressive. But you don't want to have that many fourth downs. 69 total plays for the Browns, 62 for the Steelers. We only allowed 3 sacks, which is actually pretty good. They only allowed 1. We had less than 5 punts than them. We had less punts than them 5. They had 6. We were really bad on the penalties though. We had 9 for 81. They only had 6 for 61. Both teams had a fumble, but we had those 2 interceptions. And crazily enough, both teams, the Browns and the Steelers, each had exactly 30 minutes of time of possession, which is pretty crazy. So that is the overview of the game. It was a loss, again, 14 for 27. It was closer than I would have thought. I would have thought the Steelers might have ran away with that game, but it was still, it's the Steelers. We were going to lose regardless, but it just felt like it was a worse game than it could have been. But on to let's do the power rankings first, then we'll do my reaction to the game. So in terms of power rankings, let's do NFL.com. They have let's see, Lions number 1, Eagles number 2, which is pretty crazy. And then they have the Chiefs at number 3, which is, well, all right, there you go, which is pretty impressive that the Eagles are up there. Chiefs 3, boo. The Bills fell 2, but it was a 44-42 game, and Josh Allen had 6 touchdowns, the Bills, so they do drop down a few, but whatever. It's not a bad loss. Vikings 5, Steelers 6, Packers 7, Ravens 8. So the Bengals are at, where are the Bengals now? 21. And then the Browns are only at 25, which is pretty impressive considering how bad we are. But then again, you get the Panthers at 26, which is weird. And then you got the Jets, Patriots, Jaguars, Titans, Raiders, and Giants all behind us. It's a pretty bad year in terms of bad teams. It's kind of weird. The Yahoo Sports, what is this? It's just a video clip. Are you kidding me? Why is it so hard to find these stupid things? All right, hold on. Let me find another one. Let's do, I guess, Fox News. I know they made power rankings, but whatever. All right, this is CBS Sports now. So let's see. They actually going to tell us. All right, Lions 1, Chiefs 2, Eagles 3, Vikings 4, Bills 5, Steelers 6, and Ravens 8. They have the Bengals at 20 and the Browns at 24, which is interesting. Again, there's a lot of bad teams behind us that makes it hard for us to be so far back like we were in the middle of the season. Now, the PFF has the Lions 1, Chiefs 2, Eagles 3, Bills 4, Ravens at 5, and the Steelers at 6, which is kind of crazy in my opinion. Where are the Bengals? Bengals are at, they might be a little higher, 17. And your Cleveland Browns are at, still scrolling, 27. Okay, so yeah, there's not a whole lot of anything. It seems to be that the Browns are kind of in this area of around 24 to 27, which isn't shocking just considering our team here. The Fox News has Lions 1, Eagles 2, bad website, Chiefs 3. And where are the Steelers? Steelers are 6, Ravens are 8. The Browns, you will find, Bengals are 19, and the Cleveland Browns you will find at, hold on, still scrolling, 25. So again, same spot, 25. This seems to be where they sit consistently here. We have 2 more. I'll just go right to the Browns. We'll skip everything. Oh, we already did PFF. So Sports Illustrated, we'll just go straight to the Browns here. They have the Browns at Ravens at 7 and I know people care about the division. Steelers at 5 as well. Where are the Browns? I can't scroll on this website because of 8 gajillion pop-up ads. This is okay. Come on, man. The pop-up ads are outrageous. All right, here we go. And then 27 is where the Browns are. So again, not shocking. If you want to know my personal power rankings, I have the Browns at 26. I have the Steelers at 5. I have the Ravens at 7. And I have the Lions as the number 1 team in the NFL. So that is my power rankings. If you were curious, the Browns are good, unfortunately, and it's just weird putting them at such a high number of 26 and 27 because there's so many bad teams this year. It's just really odd. But let's do the advertisements really quickly, so we will be right back. And we're back here on Browns Breakdowns. So, my reaction to the game. If you wanted proud partners Fanatical L's Network, of course, but my reaction to the actual game itself, it was fine. I mean, we lost, right? That's obvious. We didn't score very many points. That's obvious. It was an NFL football game, right? It wasn't going. We historically, like I said, we historically lose one game to the Steelers and win another. Historically speaking, it's pretty consistent. Now, realistically, every single team should have around a 500 record within division rivals, just considering how they work, how they play them twice. So in theory, if you look through every single NFL team, in division rivals should have around a 500-ish record. Teams like the Patriots and the Chiefs now, and these teams that were good for a long period of time, or in their divisions, there are 3 really garbage teams that they just can't do anything. You'll see some more skewed numbers, but consistently you'll find that a 500 record is more or less where each team will sit within division rivals. Now, AFC North football ends up turning into this. AFC North football usually has much closer to 500 football, but we won our game against the Steelers. That's all that matters. Jameis Winston was Jameis Winston. Not much to say. Unfortunately, he's not obviously the answer. Everyone should have expected that. I think, though, Jameis Winston is going to be important next year. If he isn't here next year, we will bring in somebody who will play. I think we'll draft a quarterback in the first round. We will let him sit on the bench for a year under a mentor. Hopefully, Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston is a very good mentor. I think he will be a really good mentor for whoever we end up drafting, if we draft anyone, of course. But I think we'll draft a quarterback, sit him for a year, and maybe we don't sit him. I don't know. Maybe we just figure whatever, throw him on the field, go for it. Why not? I don't think that's the best idea, in my opinion. I think it is a better idea to let them sit for a year, take the Jordan Love approach, or take the... but then again, if you look at Bo Nix, you see he's doing amazing. Rookie of the year, probably. Same with Jaden Daniels. Of course, Bo Nix has a really good hedge coach. Same with Jaden Daniels, but who knows what the Browns will end up doing. I think it'll be better if they just sat him for a year and let him mentor under someone. Jameis Winston, whatever. It's Jameis Winston. We're not expecting him to be we're not expecting him to be incredible. We're just expecting him to kind of be okay. Nick Chubb was a bit of a disappointing game, but he only did have 11 carries. He had 5 yards a carry ish, because he had 11 carries and about 52 yards. So that's about 5 yards a carry. It's actually quite good in the grand scheme of the NFL. 5 yards a carry is actually pretty decent. People think 5 yards isn't bad, but that's 15 feet. So that's pretty good per run in the NFL with a beat up offensive line. That is actually a pretty decent kind of like a game. Now, would I have liked him to be a little bit more active? Yes, I would have liked there to have been more like, I guess, active would be the best word for it. I would think it would be fun if we could have some sort of thing where Nick Chubb got more carries, or we did something like that, because I do think the problem with Nick Chubb right now is the team is in such a weird state. I guess you would say it's in shambles. Offensive line has been dealing with a lot of problems. The quarterback, we all know exactly what's going on with the quarterbacks, but there's this kind of feeling that Nick Chubb is getting used incorrectly, and that's been happening a while. This happens a lot. I know he did have an injury, but 11 carries is just too little in my opinion for Nick Chubb, especially now that he's came back and proven that he can still be pretty good. Right? He hasn't had monster games, but he's had good games, and he's been a consistent running back, right? He still is a threat on the field that people do have to look at and do have to worry about, but it feels like he's being used in a weird way that isn't exactly the best kind of use, in my opinion. I don't think that's I don't exactly know what I'm trying to get at. I just don't think he's being used correctly. But we lost, and it's the man, I can't think. We only have 4 more weeks of the season. Insane, by the way. I can't believe the NFL season only has about 5 more weeks. I am flabbergasted at that because it just feels like a few months ago. It was a few months ago, but a few weeks ago that we were starting the NFL season, and everyone was hyped for the game, and everyone thought this team was going to be good, me included. I thought we were going to win 12 to 13 games. I still believe that on paper, if everyone's perfectly healthy, everything goes correct, right? I think if this team is perfectly healthy, everyone, all of our starters, everything, I still think we're an 11 or 10 or 12 win team. It just clearly didn't work out that way. This team collapsed very quickly into the season, and don't worry, the pain will end. I think the Browns have a lot of potential to do some fun stuff in the draft, and with the trades in the offseason, I think we definitely have we have a good opportunity to make some moves and fun little things here in the draft and in the upcoming off seasons. But that's in the future. The Browns still have 4 more weeks. We still have to play the Bengals one more time. I think I don't actually have the schedule pulled up. I know we have to play the Ravens. I know we have to play the Chiefs. With how the Browns have done, who knows? Maybe we'll beat the Chiefs. That'd be hilarious. We play the Chiefs on the 15th. It's a Monday. Oh, no, that's not Monday Night Football. Wrong game. We play the Chiefs on the 15th, the Bengals on the 22nd, Sunday Night Football against the Dolphins on the 29th, and then January 5th, last game of the season, against the Ravens. So that's the rest of the schedule here. It's pretty brutal with the teams we have to play, because we have to deal with the Chiefs. Loss, let's be honest here. The Chiefs aren't losing another game. Bengals, probably a loss. Dolphins is interesting. I think that's a potential for another win. Personally, I don't think we want the Browns to win. I know it sucks. I really don't think the Browns should win another game. I think it'd be very important if the Browns decided to tank, for lack of a better word, and just lost these last 4 games. There's no reason for us to win. We're not competing for anything. We're not doing anything. Why wouldn't we just lose to the Chiefs, lose to the Bengals, lose to the Dolphins, and lose to the Ravens, go 3-14, take our top 5 draft pick, and move on with our lives? I think that's the best idea. I think there's literally nothing here in these next 4 games for us to win, right? Like, what are we winning if we beat the Dolphins? What do we get? We get absolutely nothing out of a win against the Dolphins. What do we get if we beat the Ravens? Whatever. But what do we gain from beating the Chiefs? What do we gain? We're not going to. But what do we gain from beating the Chiefs? What do we gain from beating the Bengals? What do we gain from beating the Dolphins? There's literally no benefit to winning games, at least from a fan and a business perspective. Of course, the players want to win. That's obvious. All the players should want to win. Personally, I think it's a very dumb idea if we continue to win. I think we should lose these next 4 games, because there is literally no point. If we win another game, that's going to push us up to a 11th or 12th draft spot, which is still good, but it's much higher than it could be if we continue losing. And over the course of the next 4 weeks, a lot of these 3-10 teams are going to win another game-ish. It's hard to lose all 4 games, but who knows? It's a tough season, and it sucks, but it's the Browns for you. So I'm all out of time here. Let me pull up my. We might as well put a pain. Let's just put a pain for the rest of this, because it's pretty painful. But let's just wrap it up here. I hope you all enjoyed. I will be back on the. Let's see. I will be back on the 14th, Saturday the 14th. I will be back on the 14th. So, Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and I will talk to you guys on the 14th. Peace. Here's the outro.